Welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to be doing a stock analysis of First Solar. So if you like this video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And my question, but this isn't financial advice. This is purely for entertainment and educational purposes. Now, what does First Solar make? Well, they make huge solar farms with solar panels, and they make the panels themselves, and then they invest them in these huge solar farms, which is quite interesting. So they don't do residential, which means your home, but they do some buildings. So say you have a high rise and you need a lot of solar panels on the outside. Well, they do that as well, but they primarily focus on solar farms, which is in these huge fields. Now, I like the company for one reason and one reason alone, and that is they're the only one that is primarily based in the United States, and they have a lot of factories in the United States, which is quite great during this tariff war, because chances are, let's say some other companies don't want to buy them from China because there's huge tariffs on them, well, they only have one option, that would be First Solar. So they have a huge competitive advantage right there. Now, the one thing, the downside with them is we have Donald Trump who don't like solar energy, but currently that might be a bit of a volatility factor. But in the future, I don't think it's going to really be that big of a problem because solar energy it has come to stay. So I think we're just going to need to see them boom in the future. But currently, we might see some volatility on this stock. As you can see, we have had quite that recently. As you can see, back in the middle of last year, it was trading at $303, and now it's trading in 175. Now it did just hit a bottom here. As you can see, we have this bottom formation right down here, but we bottomed out at 117. So currently we're up quite nicely. Let's see this huge peak right here. As you can see, all the way up to $200 again, but then it went down a bit. So yeah, now as you can see in the beta of this company, it's just below 1, which means it's not that as volatile as the index, which is of course great. But recently we have seen a bit of a downward turn, but we have seen that for a lot of solar panel and wind powered energy companies. So of course that is something you need to have in your mind. Now as you can see here, the earnings a little bit up and down, but overall they are quite decent. As you can see here in the income statement, they make decent money. As you can see here, they have last year they had a net margin of 30%, which is absolutely insane. That's of course quite great. And as you can see here, how they make the money. Modules, that is the word for a solar panel which is set up. So of course, that's the primary way they make the money. And then they have other and solar power electric products, which they don't really make any real money on yet. And as you can see down here, they are in a lot of countries. So even though they are primarily in the United States, as you can see, that is the blue one here, they are in a lot of other countries as well, which of course great because this means they have a global reach. And of course, that is lovely to see. As you can see down here, you can see where if we have any real sales in the countries. As you can see, India is also huge, and that is a market that is going to probably explode in the future because India is getting more and more technologically advanced and they're going to need some energy. And I think solar panels is quite great for a company like India, which receives a ton of solar energy. Now, as you can see down here in the seasonals, if we go back to 2010, as you can see, it's quite volatile. We see some years with 100% gain and some years where we lose almost 75% of our gains or just the stock itself. As you can see, it's quite a coin flip. So sometimes you might hit it correctly, sometimes you might not. So of course, be quite careful in this stock. But given the fact that we've been so high all the way back in 24 means a lot of people are probably sitting at a loss right now. Or chances are, if it increases more and people have lost faith in the stock, well then they're going to sell out, and we're going to see these something like this where it spikes a lot and people think, great, then now I lose less money, and they sell out, and boom, it happens. Of course, that is something to be wary of in a stock like this. The technicals on this for the day is a buy, and for the month it is no, for the day is a strong buy, and for the month it's a buy. And of course, that shouldn't surprise anyone, even though, as you can see, we're a bit down from the peak here. As you can see, we were on a bottom formation that we increased quite a lot. Now, even though we went downwards, as you can see, it is still performing upwards. And we haven't had a death cross ever since this golden cross during this insane spike. We also were incredibly high up in the RSI, as you can see down here, all the way up at 93 in the RSI. Now, if you don't know what that means, RSI, that is the relative strength index, which shows you how much a stock is moving in a given direction. So if it's up here, it's moving upwards because we're in the upper channel. If we're down here, we're moving downwards because we're in the lower channel. And then if we're up here above 70, it's overbought, and that is often happens when something increases sharply. Or the opposite when we are down here. Let me just see if I can find it, like right here. We are oversold where something falls sharply. So of course, that is something to be wary of. So if you see a stock like this all the way up here, maybe wait to buy because chances are maybe it's going to increase even more. Of course, we don't know. As you can see, we were in the RSI, we were trading down here, and then it increased all the way to up here. But chances are, if it's overbought or oversold, be a bit more careful. Analyst rating on this, as you can see down here, they are quite decent. We have 41 analysts on, which is quite insane, but we have 29 strong buy, 4 buy, 7 hold, and 1 strong sell. So overall, quite decent, and I think its average here of 204 by the end of the year is quite realistic. But I do think in the future it's going to increase to a lot more if the solar energy continues as it does right now. As you can see, also in the annual earnings, they just estimate to make more and more and more earnings. As well down here in the revenue, which is me more and more. So it wouldn't surprise me if they make a stock split in the future, or if they start paying dividends when they're estimated to make so much money per share. That was my analysis on First Solar. If you like this video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And of course, if you want to make any other analyses on any other companies, please leave those companies in the comments section below and I will take a look at those. Thanks for watching.